What's up guys, Benny here and welcome to today's Call of Duty Warzone video. And with Black Ops Cold War just around the corner, which is going to bring a whole ton of new weapons into the game, I thought it'd be a great opportunity to look at the top 10 most used weapons in Warzone. These are weapons that have actually gone into people's custom loadouts over the duration of the game. So we're going to have some classic meta weapons as well as some old favorites. I'll also give you the best setup for each of these weapons, so if you want to go ahead and use them yourself, you can, as they're definitely some of the best weapons to use in the game right now. Also, before we get into the gun, in 10th place, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, as 75% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel, and if you subscribe, you'll get better at Warzone, I promise. Also, if you want a chance of winning a brand new pair of Turtle Beach Stealth 700 Gen 2s for your next gen console, I'm doing a giveaway over on Twitter at BennyCentral. There's a link down in the description below, but let's get into the first gun. Now, the weapon in 10th place is the perfect SMG to pair with a sniper, and that is the MP7. Now, for me, this gun was used by almost everyone in the first season of Warzone, purely because it was incredible at medium range, as well as pretty effective up close. No, it didn't stand up against the MP5 inside of buildings, but the flexibility the MP7 gives you in Warzone to be able to land shots at a distance and finish off opponents that you might have broken their armor with your sniper made the MP7 one of the must picks in your loadouts. And I'd still say it has its place in Warzone right now. It has a fire rate of 950 rounds per minute and will deal up to 40 damage for a headshot and then 25 to the chest, but the combination of a high fire rate and low recoil made it shred enemy teams. On the MP7 itself, you'll want the monolithic suppressor, FSS recon barrel, the Merc 4 grip, 60 round mag, and then stippled grip tape for a great all-round solid build. In 9th place, we have what I honestly believe to be one of the most underrated assault rifles in Warzone, the M13. Now, the M13 until recently, with the addition of the AS Val, actually had the fastest fire rate among the assault rifles with 890 rounds per minute. But what made the M13 really stand out was the fact that it had an incredible headshot modifier along with non-existent recoil, which makes it really easy to use, and I feel a great entry weapon to Call of Duty, or if you're new to first-person shooters. It'll deal 36 damage to the head and then 24 to the body, but if you want a fast time to kill, you really need to be landing those headshots. Now, for your class setup with the M13, I actually did a video on this the other day, but you're going to want the monolithic suppressor, the Tempest marksman barrel, the Commando 4 grip, 60 round mag, and then the VLK 3x optic. Honestly, a great weapon that you should definitely try out a bit more if you haven't already. Our next most used weapon in Call of Duty Warzone is the CR56 AMAX, which statistically is probably the best assault rifle in the entire game. It can deal 56 damage for a headshot, then 42 to the chest, which is the same as a headshot with an M4A1, though it does have a slower fire rate, firing 630 rounds per minute. I'm not gonna lie to you though, the AMAX is definitely a little harder to use than most other assault rifles, but it packs a punch. And if you can learn to use it properly, you're going to find you can take down entire squads with ease. It's also a lot of fun to use. Now, on the CR56 itself, you're going to want to have that monolithic suppressor, XRK Zodiac barrel, the Ranger 4 grip to help control that recoil, and if you want a faster ADS, you can go for the Commando 4 grip instead, but it's going to be a little bit harder to use. You then want the 45 round mag, and then finish off the class with the VLK scope, which I think is the best optic to have in Warzone. In 7th place, we probably have one of the more iconic weapons that you can have in Warzone, and the assault rifle that everyone starts with, as it's the first one that you get in the game, and it is of course the M4A1. Now, the M4 is a great all-round assault rifle. I wouldn't say it's still in the game's meta as one of the best guns in the game like it was for quite some time, but you still can't really go wrong if you decide to use it in your loadout. It'll deal 42 damage for a headshot and 28 to the body with a solid fire rate of 808 rounds per minute. Now, the best build you can have for the M4A1 is this. You have the monolithic suppressor, the M16 Grenadier barrel, Commando 4 grip, a 60 round mag, and then the VLK optic, or the holographic if you want to. It's a pretty cookie cutter build for an assault rifle, but will win you a lot of gunfights, and that is why it's in the top 10 weapons used in Warzone, even though it was mainly used in the first first couple of seasons compared to now. Then in 6th place, we have our first sniper with the Kar98k, which I personally feel is going to be replaced by the SPR in the most used guns before we know it, as that thing is a beast. Now, the Kar98k for me is the perfect weapon for the aggressive sniper. It's got a faster fire rate than most snipers at 44 rounds per minute, dealing 154 damage for a shot to the chest and then 250 to the head, so a one-shot kill. Also, its ADS time sits at just 292 milliseconds, so you can really find yourself snapping onto opponents and picking up kills before they even have a chance to react. It's a lot of fun to use. Now, for the Kar98k build itself, you want the monolithic suppressor, SingGuard custom 27.6 barrel, the tac laser, sniper scope, and then the F-Tac Sport comb stock. That gives you a really fast ADS time and the ability to two-shot body shot people at a distance if you miss the headshot. Then in 5th place, we have what especially in the early seasons was everyone's favorite sniper because it was the easiest to use as it was practically hit scan and a lot easier to hit headshots at a distance, which is of course the HDR. Now the HDR has a fire rate of 32 rounds per minute, which is quite slow, so you'll struggle to take out an aggressive squad with this thing, but is obviously a one-shot headshot kill and then 112 damage to the chest, but it's a gun's bullet velocity that makes the HDR shine at 750 meters a second. I can confidently say this is the easiest sniper to use in the game, so it is great for a beginner. For the best class setup, you'll want the monolithic suppressor, 26.9 HDR Pro barrel, the tac laser, F-Tac Stalker Scout stock, and then FMJ if you want to shoot people through walls, and it will surprise you how often that comes off. Now we're getting into the big hitters of Call of Duty Warzone. These are the guns that at some point have or still are at the top of the meta. These are the guns that every pro player has used as their main weapon at some point in time. And in 4th place, we have what is quite possibly one of my favorites, though for a period, it was clearly overpowered, and that is the Bruen. Now, the Bruen is still very good now and hits like a truck with 46 damage for a headshot and 31 for a shot to the chest, which allowed you to kill enemies in between 6 to 8 bullets most of the time if you're an accurate player. But what made it so good is it had that high damage profile combined with a solid fire rate of 752 rounds per minute, which just gave it this obscene time to kill, as with the build I'm about to show you, it had a really easily manageable recoil, which combined with that fire rate and damage profile gave you that ridiculous time to kill. It was quite literally the dream assault rifle, even though it was an LMG. Now, the build that was most popular for a long period of time was the monolithic suppressor, XRK Summit 26.8 barrel, the tac laser, 60 round mag, which was very important, and then the VLK scope. And that is the build you still want to use now, but if you struggle with the recoil, change that tac laser for a commando foregrip. Now, as we head into the top 3, I want you to once again let me know down in the comments what you think are the top 3 guns in Warzone. But in 3rd place, we of course have the Grau. This weapon dominated for so long. It had everything you wanted. A super clean iron sight that allowed you to run 5 weapon attachments to improve your stability and aim down sight speed. It was a laser like no other and is all most people used for a long time. It had a fire rate of 730 rounds per minute, and with that standard 5.56 ammo damage profile like the M4A1, which deals 42 damage for a headshot and then 28 to the body. But I cannot stress enough, what made the Grau so good was the fact that it just didn't move, and that Archangel barrel gave you one of the best iron sights in Call of Duty history. And it was actually after the Grau got nerfed that the scope meta sort of came into play. But on the Grau itself, you want to have the monolithic suppressor, which I actually think has gone on every single gun in this video, the Archangel barrel, the tac laser, commando foregrip, and then the 60 round mag. And that was the best assault rifle for a large amount of Warzone this year. Okay, it's now time for the two biggies for Call of Duty Warzone, and in second place with the most used weapons currently in the game, we have the MP5. This is easily the best SMG in the game, and it's not even close. There are so many variations that are super effective as well, from having the integral suppressor to the monolithic, the 5MW laser to stippled grip tape, and that's one of the things that has made the MP5 that go-to weapon to have in your loadout. It also hits like a truck. Up close, which is where you're going to be using the MP5, it's going to deal 49 damage for a headshot and 34 damage to the chest, which, when you look at the MP5's fire rate of 798 rounds per minute, you're going to drop enemies so quickly, you can just comfortably wipe squads one after another. It's also got a super clean iron sight that makes it easy to line up your shots. Now, for me personally, in Warzone right now, this is the best MP5 build that you can have. You have that monolithic integral suppressor, the 5MW laser, the F-Tac collapsible stock, Merc 4 grip, and then the 45 round mag. It's an aim down sight build, but it's so easy and fun to use, so definitely give it a go if you haven't already. And now it's time for the most used weapon in Warzone. And one thing I'd like to say is you probably noticed shotguns weren't in the top 10. And I think that'll change in the next couple of months. But I think it's because in the first few seasons, no one used shotguns at all. So they're behind in the overall weapon use. But in first place, we have what is the meta weapon in Warzone right now, which everyone is using, and that is the Kilo. This is easily the best assault rifle. It's powerful, it's got no recoil, it's easy to use, and really should be what you're using if you're not already. It's got that 556 damage profile, so 42 damage to the head and 28 to the body, combined with a steady fire rate of 751 rounds per minute, which gives you a really solid time to kill. There's a reason every pro player uses this in every tournament. And the setup that you're going to want to be using is the monolithic suppressor, the Singard Arms 19.8 Prowler barrel, Commander full grip, 60 round mag, and then that VLK scope, which, as I mentioned already, is the best scope in the game right now. But there we have it, the top 10 most used guns in Call of Duty Warzone and their best class setups. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and make sure to go and enter that competition to win my Turtle Beach Stealth 700 Gen 2 headset if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time.